Hi, and welcome to our dance podcast. Today we have special guest Ryan Black, who will be interviewed about his experience during the rehearsal period for A Midsummer Night's Dream choreographed by Timothy Harbour for the Victorian College of the Arts Secondary School Malthouse season. What are two examples of constructive feedback that you were given during the rehearsals?
I got given the feedback that I should soften my grip in the promenade in Petit Attitude Devon in order to make the fouette into arabesque smoother. This happens when I'm doing a pas de deux with my partner Titania, and just in order to make it smoother, we should both soften our grips so that we can let go more easily and make the transition into the fouette nice and smooth. I also got given the feedback to turn another eighth of a turn in an underdone turn so that when I land, I create a proper croisé line to the back.
Give one example of feedback you applied to improve your basic dance technique during the rehearsal period.
To improve my basic dance technique, I got given the feedback to rotate my back hip forward in posé arabesque and to shift my weight further over the ball of my supporting foot. This was sort of just to create a more square and proper classical line arabesque.
Give one example of feedback that you applied to improve your artistic expression during the rehearsal period.
To improve my artistic expression, I got given the feedback that I should have more intention and engagement when looking at and working with the prop books, as to make it seem like I'm actually reading them or looking at a picture during this time.
During private rehearsal time, what is one way that you developed your technical skills?
When at home during the evening, I would watch rehearsal videos and identify which bits I think could be made steadier in the partnering sections. Then during rehearsal times, I would practice with my partners and focus on keeping clean and stable footwork, helping to keep the focus on my partners and the shapes that they are creating instead of detracting from them with unnecessary readjustments of my feet.
In addition to technical skills, how do you use your private practice time to address any personal performance issues that you may be experiencing?
During my private rehearsal time outside of main rehearsals, I tried to maintain my mental well-being. I would reflect on the choreography, look at what bits need to be improved, and set realistic goals for myself. I would visualize the piece and rehearsal in my mind. I always try to maintain a healthy work-life balance and always, above all else, get enough rest and do things I enjoy.
What was the musical accompaniment used for your ensemble dance piece?
The music for A Midsummer Night's Dream is incidental music composed by Felix Mendelssohn. The music was composed originally for Sir Frederick Ashton's staging of the ballet.
How did the choreographer utilise the musicality and phrasing to enhance the dance piece?
The choreographer used musicality by closely linking movements to rhythm, melody, and accents in the music. For example, the choreographer would find certain landmarks in the music per se and highlight these parts of the music by having a big lift or jump during this point. Additionally, the sort of steps that would be performed depended on the feel of the music and the time signature.
In addition to choice of music, what are some of the key aesthetic components featured in each of your ensemble pieces?
Fluid and constantly moving port de bras with energy that goes all the way down to the fingertips, elongated lines, and the fairy ensemble moving in unison while named characters dance independently.
Discuss how you developed your awareness of the aesthetics used in your ensemble dance piece. More specifically, what strategies and activities did you use during the rehearsal period to build your understanding of the required aesthetics in your ensemble piece?
During rehearsal, I developed awareness of aesthetics by carefully observing demonstrations from the choreographer and focusing on how they use different shapes, energy, and dynamics to create the overall mood, feeling, and aesthetic of the piece. Additionally, I would also then look back on video recordings of the rehearsals, focusing on things more like posture and technical execution to see how they add to the overall aesthetic.
Discuss how you developed your awareness of the aesthetics used in your solo dance piece. More specifically, what strategies and activities did you use during the rehearsal period to build your understanding of the required aesthetics of your solo piece?
In my solo rehearsals, I focused on my teacher's feedback to refine the style and expression required. I explored improvisation tasks to experiment with dynamic shapes and energy qualities, helping me connect emotionally with the piece. I also practiced in front of a mirror to check line, extension, and posture, and used video recordings to self-critique my use of space and facial expression. These strategies helped me strengthen my individual interpretation while still reflecting the aesthetic concepts central to the choreography.
How do you feel about your personal performance of this piece?
I felt very good about my personal performance in this piece. While some mistakes were made, I was ultimately very proud of the outcome. I felt like I had worked hard to achieve that level of performance. And even though some things went awry, I was still ultimately very proud of how it turned out.
Leading up to the performance, how did you develop your expressive techniques for the performance?
A couple of times throughout the rehearsal process, when I got home during the evening, I watched the 1999 film version of Midsummer Night's Dream and even read the script for the original play. When I did this, I would consider what Oberon might be thinking and feeling in each scene. Then, when I got to rehearsal, I would practice actually thinking and feeling those thoughts while dancing, focusing on the thoughts themselves and letting them manifest in my body and movement.
After your final performance, who do you usually seek feedback from, and what self-evaluation process do you follow?
I sought feedback from my choreographers, teachers, and head of dance. I also sought feedback from my family and friends, including my brother, who is also a dancer, and my pas de deux partner, who I worked closely with during the performance to see how she felt things went and what I could possibly improve on.
Based on constructive feedback from others, what is one strength and one area of improvement you have identified from your final performance?
After the performance and receiving feedback from others, I came to a conclusion that one strength that I possessed was my deep and emotional portrayal of a character and portraying that through my chemistry with others on stage. One thing that I could improve on was utilizing my turnout very consistently in every single movement and position.
Based on this feedback from others, what are some goals that you have set for improving your technical skills and expressive techniques? And what are some strategies that you will use to achieve the improvement for future performances?
I will work on strengthening my deep rotators and using them consistently in class, as well as maintaining my portrayal of a character without ever dropping the emotion.
How have you adjusted your performance techniques in response to observation of others' performances? How do these observations improve your performance?
After observing both peers and other dancers perform, I noticed how they held themselves on stage, even when walking or standing still. As such, I took it upon myself to focus on how I moved in the quieter moments, always portraying my character with care.
Say that one again. As a group, what techniques and strategies did you use to perform effectively as an ensemble?
We often engage in some pre-show rituals prior to performing to create a sense of camaraderie. If anything goes amiss, we communicate this with each other directly in order to improve it.